I'm so excited to introduce to all of you Angela Buccellato, and I've had the opportunity to get to know her through the Modern Day High Priestess. She was one of our sponsors, so we're calling her one of our Modern Day High Priestess angels, sponsoring the Detroit event that we had. Gosh, what has it been? 2 months ago now.
Wow.
I'm still reeling over it. It was like so meaningful and beautiful. So and I'm Melisa Keenan. If you don't know me or you're just new to this conversation, Modern Day High Priestess was a book that we launched, I think March or February of this year, full of stories of women who have come into their spiritual gifts and come into more of their power and impact and how they're meant to serve in the world through spirituality and which comes in so many different forms. And Angela was sweet enough that I was even on her podcast. She's got a great podcast. Rescue Remedy is what your podcast is called. Yeah.
That's business. So it's different from the resume rescue. So yes, to tell people stories like yourself of how you got to where you are today and the crisscross road and hills and valleys it goes through.
Yeah. So great. So yeah, without further ado, I wanted to introduce her to all of you because the work she's doing is so meaningful and rooted and very on the ground, tangible support that she's doing for her clients. So Angela, tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
So Angela Buccellato, as you said, so really where I thought of this idea of the resume rescue came from my recruiting jobs of I've worked defense, manufacturing, automotive, healthcare, software as a service, you name it. But the reoccurring theme when I first got out of college was transitioning military vets was a population that was often forgotten about. So it's like, oh, you did all the service for us. And when they were coming into my inbox, resumes were garbage where I'm like, okay, well, you're going to be another statistic. I've always been a good writer. Few iterations of life was going to be a journalist, professional writer. So that's not surprising I ended up in this field. But really listening to what's going on in the market, when I transitioned into IT recruiting and working with big executives, I'm like, oh, this is a reoccurring problem. So what's going on here? So after finding out I was underpaid by $18,000 for being the only woman in the department, being wrongfully fired from a job that my first week of work, I was rated most likely to succeed and then end up finding myself fired 3 years later. So my joke, but also seriousness, is my 2 psychology degrees help me be a true career therapist in a sense of looking at the whole person. You shouldn't be Melisa, entrepreneur Melisa, and then Melisa at home is 2 completely different people because that weighs on your energy, that weighs on how you show up for if you have kids, if you have a partner, family, friends, it doesn't matter. So using my experiences to challenge people to say, hey, it's not that hard to start a business. You could go right now and register for an LLC in your state for about under $100. So giving people equitable ways to get to where they need to be, no matter where they are in life. And it's just been awesome work. So I'm really passionate. I treat all my clients like they're old friends, and many have become friends. So, but I love what I do, and it's every day so different. And I can't complain about it.
So it feels like and not like being in the conversation of resumes for a very long time. Like I'm just approaching this like a newbie, if you will, that like it feels like the resume is actually your it's kind of like the anchor that then informs this like overall coaching, which maybe is really more around like empowerment and bringing on board the reality of their experience, their leadership, like who they are, who they're meant to help in the world. Yeah. Am I right?
Absolutely. So it was just a resume writing company when I started it, rebrand coming soon, but it's really developed into more coaching and understanding to have the tough conversations. Women especially have a hard time negotiating their salary or, hey, I need to be 100% fit for the role. And that's not the case. Or, hey, you've been an entrepreneur and you haven't had to touch your resume, but now you're going after a board position and the board wants your resume and you don't know where to start. Or we've had clients, a lot of clients actually, that change of life. They don't want to do the entrepreneurship route anymore. Or they've done it. They're like, I'm ready for my next corporate gig, but I don't know what position to do. So a lot of this is understanding your non-negotiables, based on where you live, based on your circumstance. I'm not a toxic positivity person that it's just like, just go do the thing. It's going to work out. Yes, we can get there, but here are the tools to get you to where you need to be. So you are correct. It is the resumes that anchor. You still have to be a great interviewer. You still need to sell yourself if you're a business owner, but getting down to like, what are your values? What kind of clients do you want? What are your values? What values does an organization need to align with you on? People forget that. We're not where our parents were. You have to stay at a company for 20, 30 years. Great if you do, but you can start a business. You can make more money working for yourself. So it's just meeting people where they are and just understanding everyone has their things they go through and how I can be that person to navigate that ship for you.
That's so cool. And you shared with me before we came on, like, tell me a little bit about the kind of clients that you work with, because you mentioned a whole group of all kinds of people with different backgrounds.
So really it comes down to the personality type. So as business owners, what are we always told? What's your niche? Who do you help? And don't say that you help everyone, because that's like business 101. You can't say you help everyone, even though there's truly not a field I haven't touched. I've done a pastor's resume. I've done a funeral director's resume. Like, I don't think there's a field I haven't touched. Okay. But in light of not saying I work with everyone, it's the people that know something needs to change. They're open to coaching. They are collaborative with me, and we go back and forth. And really it comes down to trust and transparency. Do you trust me to help you? Are you being transparent with me and what you need in your life? So a lot of times the sessions, people end up crying on sessions, or like, I don't know why I feel this way, but whatever energy I give off, I am the person, and my fiance doesn't understand it. He's like, what do you give off that people just like tell you word vomit their whole life stories to you? So channeling that into spirituality, into how you can just be a good person at the end of the day and like help people where they need to be, or be the voice you needed. And that's what I really aspire to be, especially like kids in high school I've been working with a lot, or in college. I'm like, this is what I wish I knew at this point. You don't have to have it figured out in your 20s. Okay. It's okay. But yeah.
Something that stands out to me about you and the kind of leader that you are is that you really hold inclusive space, and you don't, and even as you talked about the different clients that you serve and stuff, like you have a way of helping people feel that safety and sense of belonging, no matter what their background is. I want to know, like, where did that come from?
So I think if we're really going to track it back, I was blessed to grow up with incredible female role models. My grandmother was a trailblazer for her time, and rest in peace, but my mother still very much is an incredible human being. I mean, she started a business when she was pregnant with me. Who does that? Who starts a business when you're pregnant? Oh, she does. Anne Marie does. But it comes down to a lot of those values my grandmother and mother instilled in me is helping others. I remember being away at college, and I had multiple friends that lived with my parents while I was away at college because they had nowhere else to go. So it's always help others. You can always give yourself. And I have entrepreneurship on both sides of the family, so I do feel it runs in the family. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the people. Like, are you treating people well? Are you really living a life that's not fake, or not, oh, look, I'm a good person. Look at all this money I donated. You need to call me out on it. But doing good behind the scenes. And that was something that is instilled in a part of really the mission of my business is do good work for people. I mean, yes, I probably should be charging triple what I charge right now. And any business coach, and a lot of the business coaches I worked with before, Brenda, who introduced us, of course, we love her, had told me, it's like, you need to triple your prices. It's like, okay, but I want to help the people that nobody's looking out for. And Brenda was one that actually was like, no, you do what you want. Like, this is how you can get there. So it's also going against the grain of, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. So I was 24 years old when I started this business too, which looking back, I'm like, you were a child, and this is so crazy to look at 24-year-olds now.
Amazing.
So it's just like, it's understanding that and really finding out what you're meant to do. So if you would have asked me in December, I was ready to be done. It's entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. Throw in a very traumatic death in the family that we had over Halloween, and it was just, the world felt crashing down. So understanding that I'm blessed to have the flexibility to work with people and get to know people. I mean, saying, hey, I've had a really rough day. Can we move our meeting? Or, hey, I'm this, and that. I don't charge people to reschedule. It's like, get back to the human side of things when you're doing the coaching, doing the work you do, doing all this greatness. So I sidebarred that really far, but we love that. So yeah, it's just really
we love that. It's beautiful, and it unfortunately is still unique in our day. I think as a white woman, to hold a space where everyone feels included. And I think that it's worth noting, it's worth pointing out, like, before I entered into kind of doing the work myself, I didn't understand why people were labeling their businesses as like LGBTQ plus friendly, or, I'm a BIPOC ally, or these things. From the outside, it felt just like virtue signaling, and like, what? And now now that I'm in conversation and I am doing the work, I'm like, oh no, it's because people are still needing to signal that this is a safe space. And so I just I want to commend you for being the kind of leader that you are, and the support that you are doing.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, now that we're in Pride Month, it's like, don't change the company logo. We're going to slap it to a rainbow and look at us, we're inclusive. It's what we keep talking about of, do you treat humans with mutual respect? Are you understanding where people are? And half the time when people say, because I love feedback, I love tell me why you wanted to work with me. And the reoccurring theme, the last few clients that have signed up, and people have said this for years, it's like, you actually you heard me and you understood my issues, and you're not just rinse and repeating your sales pitch. You're saying how you can help me and being honest with me of, oh yeah, maybe you don't need a cover letter, or I feel like you could use some coaching, and let me tell you why, but hear me out on this. So in a society where we have, technology at our fingertips, right? And we have everything aligned. It's like, remember the human skills too. When you're coaching, when you're working with people, when you're doing whatever that is. And I think some organizations have gotten quite far away from that. And you practice what you preach. I know exactly what I'm getting with Hope Publishing, with Modern-Day High Priestess, with the book, with every facet of you. I know what I'm getting, because you are yourself in person. You're the same person. Virtually, you're the same person. It's just
Yeah.
Just be a good person and treat others with respect.
I love it. Yeah. I'd love to transition a little bit and talk about your resonance with Modern-Day High Priestess, which, as we know, is, really stands for this day and age that we live, where there's more opportunity than there has been maybe in several thousand years for women to show up with our spiritual gifts, and to allow that to be a part of our identity in both public and private. And that's a privilege that not everyone is experiencing yet on the planet, but that has become more available, and for people to be able to talk about those things, or interweave those things into their resume, or into their businesses, or whatever it is that they're doing. What was it for you that resonated about that as a movement?
So I was very much, really where this kind of turned, I would say, would be college, post very messy breakup of someone I probably should not have spent the time with, but we all do it, right? We all got to figure ourselves out. So it was being the yes person. In high school, being the yes person of, yes, I could go above and beyond. Yes, I could do this. Yes, 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 yes. And after a breakup with, sorry for another episode, but it made me sit down and realize, like, what are you doing? Are you practicing what you're preaching? Are you actually, like, if your friends are telling you something, you should listen. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to them say, I mean, hearing it from all angles. And also coming down the journey of, you know, I was very close to my grandmother, and understanding she was 80 when she passed last year, but she was told she was too ugly to work the front desk at her job that she stayed at for 30 years. She could tell you horror stories for days of just the things she was told, or just like that generation. I mean, working in the 50s and 60s, and just like the appalling, like eye twitching, like, I'm sorry that happened to you. So my cute little, oh, you made $18,000 less than your male counterparts in the 2000s. Yeah, no big deal. This is how far we've come.
Right.
But just like paying homage to that and understanding, like, yeah, we're still not solving the problem. It's still not solved of inclusivity, and I mean, comments people make to us as women. Or I love when people always assume my fiance is the business owner, even though I literally had just said I was the business owner. So it also comes down to having a voice for others that don't have one. I mean, I have learned that was one of the values I was taught growing up, of like, you got a problem, you're going to say it. And my mom always says, she's like, if you don't want the truth, don't ask, because you're getting the truth from all of us.
Yeah.
So using that into the business of paving the way for people that don't have the voice, don't feel comfortable doing that. And it's a tough conversation, but it really stems from, I did all the right things. So that was started in college. And then when I got into these corporate jobs, my first job out of college was making $30,000 a year, not one, 0.33% commission. I was not worth 1% commission. So now looking back on this, it's like, I let them convince me, yeah, come work hard for a year. So I'm making them $500,000 in profit, and I get bumped to $32,500.
Wow.
And I was privileged to be living at home. My bills weren't high. Great. Didn't have student loans. But now looking back, I'm like, I cannot believe that. Or I distinctly remember this, one of the account managers laughing in my face because I didn't know who Northrop Grumman was, defense company. Like, I didn't know who they were. I was 22 years old. I don't know all the defense companies in the world. And I remember him laughing in my face. And I'm like, is this guy serious? And he made me feel so small over that.
Yeah.
Even that next job, I mean, I always say my boss is Jekyll and Hyde. Be your best friend one minute and scream at you the next. And it was just like, I did all the right things on paper. I've been a high achiever my whole life as far as relationships and training. I mean, head trainer at my restaurant job at 16 years old.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if this is happening to me as someone who on the resume, I mean, not to be silly, but my resume looks great of, oh, I did all the right things. I was in leadership. I did what you're supposed to do. I went to a Big Ten school. And this is still happening to me. Who else is this happening to, or our underserved communities? And how are we helping them? And what are we doing when we don't have mommy and daddy, you know, flexibility of you get to go to a great school, or you can't go to college, you don't have the grades because you had to work. So just making equitable solutions for people, and just like, it's okay. People we need the reaffirmation. We need the affirmations. We need to be, and I need this still all the time, but we need to be told, like, we need cheerleaders. And I love when clients say, like, you pushed me to do this. Or I love when they say, you know, Angela, I had that negative self-talk and you were on my shoulder yelling at me to just apply to the job. So I did, and I ended up getting an interview. So it just comes down to realizing who was the trailblazer, who spearheaded this. And I always love the saying of, like, oh, people like my grandmother's generation walk so we could run. And that's like one of my favorite sayings ever. So paying homage to that.
Wow, so powerful. Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of why we created the book, because it's like, we need these voices to give permission to what is emerging in us, to be able to continue day by day. And it makes sense that we all still need those voices, those words of encouragement, eyeballs outside of our situation, because we are still all in the systems. We haven't been able to burn down the jail yet.
Right. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Exactly. Yep.
Oh, beautiful. Well, tell us about how people can connect more deeply with you, and a little bit about, what you're inviting people into as we wrap up today.
So I offer free consultations to everyone. I mean, whether you're just like, I don't know if I need help, or if I do, happy to review your situation, your resume, LinkedIn, whatever that is. So you can head to my website, justtheresumerescue.com, for that. And I'm just inviting everyone to just challenge. What do you want this time to look like this time next year, as we're approaching the beginning of summer, getting into the warmer months? I mean, do you want to be in the same position you were a year ago? Or do you want to say, oh, look at all the great things I've achieved over the last year? So just really have that talk with yourself. Is your career giving you what you want out of it? Or are you miserable coming home or logging off every night? And I'm always happy to virtual coffees, in-person coffees, being in Metro Detroit. But yes, just think about what you want for 2026.
That's awesome. And we mentioned at the beginning the podcast, so you can also go, and where can people find your podcast?
So it's called That's Business, and it's on wherever you get your podcast. So Apple, Spotify, YouTube, I mean, all over the place, Stitcher. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela. And thanks again so much for all of your support around our big book signing event. And I really hope that we did put your links in the description above this live video. So I really hope that if you have listened to this and you resonate with Angela, go give her a follow, give her a reach out. She's obviously so friendly and approachable and happy to help. I'm grateful to know you as a resource.
Likewise.
It's really powerful, the work that you're doing. So and also so neat, like, that you have some of these ancestral and spiritual kind of like undercurrent or foundation when it comes to something that can feel very disconnected, like a resume. It's really cool, Angela.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Melissa. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll see you guys next time.